Welcome to Chapter 8 of my Portal 2 speedrunning tutorial. This chapter has had a lot of developments in the routes since way back in 2013 when Xernicus made his tutorial. So, this first chamber is exactly the same, but this also is one of the longer chapters, at least normally. We make a lot of the maps really short because of a cool glitch that I will talk about soon. But for this first map, just bunny hop through here as quickly as possible. There is actually a cap on how fast you can go. I turned the talking on, so we're just going to start talking here. Right there, you have to hit that as fast as possible. And if you go as fast as possible, that'll happen. He'll stop talking after one. And if you go even a little fast, that'll happen. So you can actually just pretty much walk through the rest of this. It doesn't matter how fast you go here.
Funny, is it? Oh, it's funny because we've been at this for 12 hours and you haven't solved it either. So I don't know why you're laughing. You've got 1 hour. Solve it.
And then after he says that, the door will open. So right here is another one of the traditional major skips of the game. Normally what you do is you put this cube on this button. Wheatley starts talking. He blocks the door so you can't leave. And then he talks for 50 seconds straight about how epic he is or something. But there's a way to skip that. If you've heard of cube throw, basically how it works is you throw the cube on the button and then press up against the door before it hits the button. And that way you can go through the door, skip the whole cutscene, and save 50 seconds. There are several ways to set up the cube throw, and it's definitely something that you have to practice, because sometimes that can happen. Or sometimes the cube will just miss. Or I guess sometimes that will happen. There's also other ways to do it. You can do it like that. But okay, that was the best throw I've ever done. You can do it like that. Which, if that works better for you, then that's also fine. But throwing the cube is just a matter of jumping and then letting go right after. Jumping, moving right, and then letting go right after. Because then all of your momentum is imparted onto the cube. And you also have to flick your mouse. That helps it go a lot further. So for the setup that I do, and that I personally think is the easiest, is right after... Let me grab another cube. Right before you reach like the end of this wall, you jump, move a little to the right, and then flick hard to the right. And that, you also have to flick up a lot, because if the cube hits the button too early, that's bad. So let me try to do it in slow motion. Super slow motion, see if that works. No, just regular. So you see the cube lands on the button. And you want to throw the cube really high. Not so high that it hits the ceiling like that. Not so high that you can't get it to the button. But if you throw it low, then the door will open earlier, and that's bad because you don't have as much time to get to the door. So you want to throw it high and to the right. You can also do a second jump, which might be easier. Really, this is just something that you will want to practice a lot. And even if you don't get it first try, it's fine as long as you don't hit the button. If you like have the cube hit the button but you didn't reach the door, you have to reload a save. Yeah. I would practice this for a while before doing runs, because it is a pretty big skip. And also, if you jump, sometimes you won't be quite in the door. And then sometimes that happens, but this is the way I do it. You have to really AD spam. That time, the cube missed. Again, other way to do it, like that. It's actually pretty hard, but... I can't get it. It's because my AD spam is not good enough right now. Yeah, this is what it looks like if you mess it up a lot and are bad at it. A lot of the times the cube will hit the button too early, and you can't go through the door. But I'm pretty confused right now, not gonna lie. There we go. That's what it's supposed to look like. It's not as hard as I made it seem, but it is pretty hard. And then once you get that, you just jump all the way around here. Get in this lift as soon as possible. It's super slow, so just wait it out. Jump and make that shot. And then once you get to about here, you can jump out of the lift, hit the button, go in, get in this door as quick as possible.
That felt really good. Oh, here's an idea. Since making tests
And then right about here,
solving this test. Same one.
Wheatley's going to open these doors, and then you just do the test again.
Yeah,
Hit the button as soon as possible, because that's what triggers the dialogue.
Rapid. Alright, can't blame me for trying.
And then right here, there's a tiny dialogue skip that saves about a second. Wheatley's going to say the word somewhere. Right in the middle of those two syllables, you press W. You line yourself up with a door,
Okay,
like this.
New tests. Gotta be some tests around here somewhere.
If you press W in between those two syllables, he skips saying "here we go," and it saves about a second. So let me see if I can do that again.
This test. Same one.
I can watch you solve it. Yeah, that sounds much easier. Here we go. Now,
Okay,
do it again.
I can't play in fast speed.
And nothing. Alright, can't blame you for trying. Okay.
New tests. New tests. Gotta be some tests around here somewhere.
You can also just go when he says where, and that also is fine.
Idea didn't work.
And this elevator you enter when GLaDOS says "and."
Killed me. Luckily, by the looks of things, he knows as much about test building as he does about logical contradictions.
Okay, so now we're going to the first map of the game with funnels.
It'd be hard to stay alive.
And there's a cool, really cool glitch you can do with funnels, where you can just fly. And how the glitch works is you're in a funnel with 0 velocity, and then you change your crouching state. You can either crouch or uncrouch, or crouch and then uncrouch, that's fine, in the funnel. And you will have funnel fly. And there's a few specifics on how to get and lose funnel fly, but I'm just going to go over the route for this chamber really quickly. So you get in here, shoot a portal there, put yourself in like kind of the lower half of the portal, and then shoot a blue portal there. You'll fall into the funnel. And make sure you're crouched when you do this. You'll fall into the funnel. And then wait like a second, maybe 2 seconds, and then uncrouch. And then start moving left and shoot a blue portal, and then after a little bit shoot an orange portal where the blue portal was. So like this. So what that did is the blue portal, because my body was on this side of the portal but my camera was on the other side, the blue portal pushed me down here, and then the orange portal is there for that funnel to go through. So now I'm flying, which is cool. So the route for this is, now that the orange portal's there, shoot the blue portal here. And I want to go out of the blue portal just by holding W and looking down. And then throw the cube into the orange portal. And then shoot the blue portal there. Once the cube goes through that portal, shoot a blue portal here. Let it fall until it's about like halfway, or most of the way. And then shoot the blue portal there. That'll give the cube time to go up to the button. Because if the cube hits the button right away, Wheatley starts a really long, like 20-second long dialogue. But if you're at the door when the cube hits the button, GLaDOS will interrupt Wheatley, like this.
The good news is,
Well, I had dialogue off, but... Okay, let me just do the whole chamber again in slow motion. And you have to AD spam here instead of bunny hopping. One thing that's important about fly, and it will be especially important in chambers like or in chapters such as chapter 9, is that when you have fly, like I do now, you basically can't jump, because if you jump, you will go up, but you will not go down, which is unfortunate, because it means if you jump somewhere like here, you soft lock, then you have to load a save. So you have to be really careful about when you jump in chapters 8 and 9. Which means it's AD spamming and wall strafing is going to be a lot more useful. And for this elevator, you say, when GLaDOS says, the good news is, enter on news. So let me go through that chamber once again in full speed, just as a quick overview, and then we'll move on to ceiling button.
It's alright. Everything's good. I just invented some more tests. Not entirely. Not entirely. Look at the word tests there on the wall. That's brand new.
And that's the first map with fly. Something else to note about fly is that if you have the fly glitch when you're exiting a level, in this game at least, you will still have fly glitch upon entering the next level. And technically it's a different technically there's some subtle differences, like there's different ways to lose it. But basically, crouch fly glitch transfers throughout levels. So in this level, you're just going to AD out of this elevator, because if you try to do a circle jump, you will soft lock. So AD spam out of this elevator, wall strafe up here, and then as soon as you enter here, jump, because you want to hit this ceiling. Because if you hit this ceiling, it lines you up perfectly to stand on this button. So hit the ceiling. And by the way, moving while you have fly glitch consists entirely of strafing. You cannot just press W to move. That's very slow. So you have to strafe like you're rocket jumping in TF2. I don't know if anybody still plays that. So once you land on this button, you wanna be holding crouch in the air, because normally when you jump, you can't crouch in the air. But if you hold crouch and then land off this button, you'll be put in a crouching state because you just touched the ground. So what you want to do is hit the button, be holding crouch, hit the button, and then strafe to the right and grab this cube. That might take a little bit of practice being able to do that, but holding crouch makes the cube grab a lot more consistent. And then get the cube close to this button, like throw it even as fast as possible, because that is what triggers the dialogue. So once the ending dialogue has been triggered, drop the cube on you to lower your height. That's the only way to lower height with fly. Set it down there, and then activate the funnel so that the cube can go through. I'm gonna redo that chamber with audio and stuff, so that you can all can see what it looks like. So jump out here. Oh, I messed up. Jump out here. Be holding crouch, and go to the right. Throw the cube near the button so that it activates the dialogue earlier. And just go through. And I was actually too late, but when GLaDOS says trouble, that is when you go in the elevator. So let me do that really fast.
Test myself out of smaller tests that I found lying around. Jammed them all together. Oh yes. Well done. What? Well no, you pressed the button.
One other thing to note about crouch fly glitch is that if you're flying and your speed goes over, if your horizontal speed, so in most cases just your speed, goes over 300, you will not be able to control where you're going in the air. At best, you can still accelerate, but you will not be able to decelerate, and you will not be able to change direction. So, unless you're like going in a straight line and you have something to stop you, like an object, try not to go over 300 velocity, because that's pretty bad. You'll lose control until you hit a wall or a death trigger. Alright, here's wall button. Again, it's just AD spamming and wall strafing here because you can't bunny hop. And then there's two ways to do this. The easier way, in my opinion, is to just walk off here, and then once you're in the air, start air strafing. You can hit over 300 because you have the button to stop you. Crouch in the air so that you can go over this and hit the button. Actually, I missed a step here. You have to shoot a portal there first for this route. So shoot a portal there, and then walk off this edge. I would crouch here so that I... Actually, you don't have to crouch, but just hit the button. Warning, if like the button runs into you once all this destruction noises have started happening, it is possible to die. So like stand right here to make sure that doesn't happen. And then as soon as everything stops, shoot a portal there, and then come out here, because the dropper will have a cube for you. And you have to crouch through this portal, because it almost certainly won't let you go in while standing. Press W into the cube to go down. Now here there's two things you can do. You can shoot funnels there, and then try to throw the cube up. Actually, the best way to throw the cube is to stand in this doorway and then jump. If you stand in the doorway and jump, the doorway will push you back down. So if you jump and throw the cube, that makes it a lot easier. So stand in the doorway, jump and throw the cube, and it'll land in the funnel. You can also do it without the funnel, but it's harder. Sorry. Like so. Oh, I have a wrong save. Alright, and there is an alternative way to do this. It's only a slight variation. You shoot a portal there, and then do a small reportal to give yourself some speed. And then hit the button like that on your way down. If you miss it, just go hit it again. And then shoot a portal there. Grab this cube. And once you hit the wall, use the cube to give yourself downward speed. I believe it is actually a tiny bit faster since you don't have to crouch through the portal and you don't have to run into the cube to put yourself down. But then after that, just do the same thing and walk in. I'll do the slightly easier route with dialogue.
I found a sealed off way, hundreds of perfectly good test chambers just sitting there, filled with skeletons, shook them out, good as new.
Oh yeah, if you crouch, you won't run into that thing. If you don't crouch, there's like some weird invisible thing in the air that might stop you. It's weird. And then you have to crouch to get through there. W on the funnel cube, place the funnels, jump throw.
Oh, disappointing.
Basically, when GLaDOS says it's happening, you're fine to go.
I'm sure we'll be fine.
Now on to Polarity. This is one of the funnier maps in the game, because right here the route is to jump as soon as you get out of this door, bonk your head on the ceiling, while you're flying over here, shoot a portal there, and then once you get here, shoot a portal under you, and that loses fly for you, so you can now jump now, and then you're at the end. I went over how to get the fly glitch in the first map of this chamber. So again, just do a circle jump. You can strafe here. And you can go over 300 velocity because that funnel will cancel your velocity. And then this elevator is as soon as possible. So that's like the first half of the fly glitch. You preserve fly glitch all the way from the beginning of this chapter, pretty much until that room. And then these next 2 chambers, I believe, are done without fly. So you can bunny hop like normal. Here, I'm only going to be going over the grateshot route because I'm not really too familiar with any other routes right now. And you can spend a while doing grateshot, but there are other routes if you want to look into them if you can't get this for some reason. So once you get into this map, shoot a portal about there. Look here. Shoot a portal about where these lines intersect. If you shoot it like there, I found it's a lot harder to get the shot. So shoot that portal there. And then stand in this portal. And you see this grate here? If you shoot it right, you can shoot a portal on there. So let me see if I can see Alt Fav like 15. There we go. Now I have super zoom. Oh, whoops. What? Yeah, so basically this grate, you want to shoot about there. It's sort of weird where actually the shot is. Okay, I cannot do it with this FOV thing, so you want to shoot. It's something you do have to get a feel for, but about where that last dot on the floor is, somewhere around there. Okay. Right there will get you the shot if you shoot right there. You obviously cannot zoom this much in game. It's illegal to do that. But shooting about there will give you, put a portal there for some reason. It's not the most precise shot in the game, but really if you just shoot anywhere on this gray strip kind of around here, you'll get it. Okay, and then once you've done that, press this button and then immediately jump down to this pipe and jump down here, and you'll be able to grab the cube. Like that. And don't land on the faith plate. If you can't do that for some reason, press the button, walk over to the faith plate, grab the cube. Like if you missed, or if you accidentally let the cube faith plate something, press the button, go get the cube again. Now here, jump through here, which just means jumping just before you go through the portal, and then set the cube on this button and go to the end. You can also throw the cube through the portal, but that is a tiny bit harder and doesn't save that much time. So I'm going to turn the dialogue on and do this at slow motion. Shoot about there. And shoot there. You will getting the shot first try is pretty much impossible, so you can shoot the shot a fair bit of times. Jump there. Grab the cube. And then I missed the throw, but just put that there.
That was nothing! That was nothing!
One more try at full speed, and then I'll show you the dialogue fade.
Now he's playing classical music.
Oh, what was that? That was nothing! That was nothing!
This is a bit of a longer dialogue.
Has a built-in euphoric
So,
response to testing.
when she says unbearable, when she says the in unbearable, you can go, or bearable, it's either or.
Eventually you build up a resistance to it. It can get a little unbearable unless you have a mental command.
So yeah, that's that chamber. Really the hardest thing about that chamber is the grateshot, and you can try that for a few times. You can also use the command cl_fov and set that to like 5 to practice it. and you might want to lower your sensitivity for that. But that command is cheating if used in a run, so don't use it. Alright. This is the second map without fly. So the first thing you want to do is go to this button. And what this button does is it just activates that cube. Normally that cube just goes away. Just says goodbye. But if you press this button and then on your way over, shoot these portals, and then step on this faith plate, like half a second after the cube falls on that faith plate, you can actually pick it up pretty easy. Like that. It's definitely not the easiest thing in the world, but it's fairly easy and consistent. So you might want to practice that. But basically, step over here, shoot these, you can just walk. What you can do is a circle jump and then just walk. That should, if your circle jumps are okay, that should line you up pretty good. And then once you have this cube, jump over here. Oh, okay, I did forget to mention. If you want, after you stop yourself with this bridge, you can shoot a bridge down there, which ensures that the turrets won't shoot you. But ideally, you go fast enough that the turrets don't have time to shoot you anyway. And then once you get over here, the dialogue is started, so it's no biggie. And then shoot up down there. Go through, go to the end. And the dialogue for this one is we either say, no, no, that's not the solution. And on the second no is when you go. So, and you can also do it without the bridge. I'll demonstrate here. They won't even shoot you. They're just... Okay, so I'll do that map once. And I'll also show an alternate way to get to the top. Well, no, it doesn't matter at all.
Don't mind me, just moving your test chamber a little bit closer to me. I thought maybe proximity to the test solving might give us stronger results. What was that? Oh, sorry, I swore you said something. Are you absolutely sure you're solving
This correctly. I mean, yes, you solved it, but I'm wondering if maybe there's a number of ways to solve them, and you're picking all the worst ways.
No. Second no.
What am I missing?
That chamber's pretty simple. The hardest thing about it is that grabbing the cube in midair. That can be a little tricky. But it's easier than it looks, don't worry. Alright, so this next map is one of the harder maps in Chapter 8. The route used to be really easy, but then we found a route which required you to preserve crouch fly into the next map, which made this map significantly harder. So the old route was to just get crouch fly here, and then go to the end. I don't know how to do it. And then go to the end. That was really easy. But unfortunately, there's now a harder route, which we have to do for technical crouch fly reasons that I'll probably get into at the end. So the route's not that hard, but here's how you do it. You shoot a portal there first once you get in. So there and there. And then once you have these portals, do a portal stand into there. And then shoot a blue portal just on the floor so that you can't fall back through it. And then shoot an orange portal there. If you shot it like that, you did it wrong. Shooting the blue portal on the floor is also a good indicator if you shot the orange portal right. Because you have to shoot the orange portal in such a way that the funnel does not go through it. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's right. And so once you've done that, shoot the blue portal here, and then just hold W until you get to the front. And then once you have stopped holding W, wait like a second or two, crouch, wait like another second or two, and then uncrouch and shoot the orange portal. Now you have fly. And you also need to actually look forward when holding W, because otherwise the game won't let you move. So now here's sort of the hardest part of the route. You have to land here, jump off here, and then use these pipes to boost you down into here. And if you do it just wrong, then the pipes will like knock you too low or not knock you fast enough. There's an alternative way to do it though that is easier but slower, is you can just land at the top here and then use this pipe to knock you down, which is a lot easier. So I'd recommend doing that for most new people. So again, just land here, do the jump, go this way. Make sure you don't like go up and then through here, because that's a soft lock. So landed in this ceiling, strafe left into this pipe, which will push you down, and then land here and just walk forward. And the harder way to do it, which is also the faster way to do it on me, is like that. So I'll show the easy method first, and then the hard method. You definitely want to play it safe with waiting for that crouch, because if you don't wait long enough, then you won't get crouch fly, and that's really sad. Go down here, and you're done. Now the hard route. That's also another door you can just jump through, by the way. So.
Brainwave, I'm going to tape you solving these, and then watch 10 at once. Get a more sort of concentrated burst of science. Oh, on a related note, I am going to need you to solve these 10 times as fast. Anyway, just give me a wave, would you, before you solve this one, alright? I don't want to spoil the ending for when I watch it later.
Remember when I told
And if you get into this area, like where I'm standing right now, if you get here before Wheatley's done talking, that's as fast as you can go. So there's no need to go like insanely fast.
you that he was specifically designed to make bad
And also don't crouch here. If you crouch, you will lose crouch fly. See, now I have crouch fly. But if I crouch, actually I saved and loaded so it doesn't work. But if you crouch here, you will lose crouch fly. So don't crouch.
because I think he's decided not to maintain any of the crucial functions
And when Gladys says crucial, that's when you go in.
required to keep this facility from exploding.
And the reason we did all that complicated stuff in the last chamber is so that we have crouch fly in this chamber. So you notice I can fly. And that's going to make this chamber a lot faster and a lot easier.
Facility. This place is
So
Was self-destructing.
if you like weren't able to do the route in the previous chamber, you can probably look up one of Znernicus's chapter 8 tutorials to see a good route for this map, but I'll just be going over the fly route for now.
Already fixed.
So once you go in, shoot a portal there. Doesn't quite matter where. If you shoot it on the left side, it's easier. And then here. And then do another portal stand to get there. Although this portal stand doesn't actually matter too much because you're flying, so you won't die if you miss it, but do that. And then there's two ways to do this. You can push the button, AD spam, and then grab the cube. But you kind of have to move fast to do that. And if you can't go fast enough, you'll miss the cube. So an easier way to do it is to push the button and then immediately push the button again, which gives you another cube really easy. So once you have this cube, you're going to want to toss it up and then shoot there, just like that. And then fly over here. And if you haven't moved this orange portal, you'll be able to fly in perfectly and then land on the ground. And then shoot the orange portal there. So what you can do here is a really cool glitch. Because this is a portal... Actually, there isn't a portal helper there. But you can do something cool where you knock the cube... Because this portal isn't exactly level with the floor, you can have the cube like rest one corner on it, and it'll activate the laser. It's a bit finicky sometimes, but like that. So you can also shoot the blue portal there, and it's possible, but for some reason I find this more difficult. This also has a benefit though of if it even activates the laser for a split second if you're pushing up against the door to work. But I usually do it over here because it's easier for me. So put the cube about here and then drop it in the portal, and it should just activate the door. And then once you're here, this is the main reason we have fly. Normally you would just get in this funnel and take the funnel, but you'll notice I'm only moving at 122 velocity. So what you can do is just get barely out here and then fly right past here, but don't hit the funnel. If you hit the funnel, you'll lose crouch fly and then you'll fall and you'll die. That's bad. So make a save here and then go out the right so that you're flying alongside the funnel. And what this does is it lets you move like almost 3 times faster. Literally 3 times faster. There is a trigger right here that destroys the funnel, which if you hit, you soft lock. So do not hit that trigger. But it's fairly easy to avoid it if you just don't go too close to the funnel until the end. So strafe alongside the funnel here, and then once you pass like that, once you pass about here, start going towards the funnel, and you want to enter the funnel like right at the end here, so like that, because then you'll lose crouch fly, and then fall down here. There are a lot of invisible death triggers kind of in this area, so if you end too early and you like strafe into one of these, you die, which is bad. So basically hug this wall and then strafe left, apparently. You've let me load my save. Wrong save. So once you go out of the funnel, strafe left, otherwise you might hit the death trigger, which is bad. You can also make a quick save here. And then land here. You can't actually go in yet because the doors aren't open, because there's a trigger here that you need to hit for all that to open. So go back, hit that, and then go in. Now time for the second to last map of Chapter 8. Just prop catch. So enter this room as early as possible because that starts like a timer basically for where you need to be. Whoa, I started already. Okay. Whoops. If that happens, don't let that happen because I'm pretty sure you can't get out of here. So hit that trigger, then come back. I'm gonna do all this in slow motion because it can be kind of confusing. Shoot there, push the button, and then shoot these 2 portals. Remember that portal, because you're gonna want to shoot that portal there, so that the cube can come to you. Now once it's like past the button, shoot the orange portal so the cube can fall, grab it, and then put it on the button. Now enter this funnel like this, move up a little bit. You'll be moving at 0 velocity. And then crouch, and then look slightly up and start moving. And make sure when you're in the air to look at Peabody over there, because if you don't look at him, he won't move. And then that will soft lock. So in a bit full speed, that kind of looks like this.
Getting a test ready for you, obviously. Who else would I be doing it for? No one? So, let's see here. Exit, exit, exit. There is no exit. Not a problem. I'll make an exit for your test.
Remember to look at him. Okay. And then just fly over here. And then uncrouch to lose fly.
I'll be honest, after you told me to turn that beam off.
And then right here, when the thing stops moving, fizzlers are going to turn on so that you can't shoot through it. But if you just spam shot, there's like half a second where it stops moving before the fizzlers turn on, so you can shoot. You have to shoot the orange portal over there so that the funnel comes over here. Because if the funnel doesn't come over here, then the dialogue doesn't activate, and that loses a lot of time.
I thought I had lost you. Wait, poking. You two are gonna love this big.
You see, she said you two are going to love this big surprise. If he doesn't say that, that's a problem. It's not the worst problem because this dialogue is already fairly long, but it's a problem.
Surprise.
And something I've noticed, if I shoot the orange portal so that I'm in it, I actually get a weird lag spike. So what I do is I stand on the left side and shoot the orange portal on the right side. That doesn't give me the lag spike and produces the same result. So let me do that whole chamber again. And something I should have before, if you do the chamber too fast, there is a chance that you can soft lock because Peabody hasn't gone yet. So there's a dialogue cue that you can use, and you cannot start flying before the dialogue cue, otherwise you could soft lock.
What? You're alive! Great! Yeah, just getting a test ready for you, obviously. Who else would I be doing it for? No one? So, let's see here. Exit, exit, exit. There is no exit. Not a problem. I'll make an exit for your test.
If you go before he says make an exit, I usually do the and of make an exit. Then there's a very good chance you could soft lock, which is a problem.
There. Bing. Good. Perfect. On you go.
And then wait for this to get bend.
Turn that beam off. I thought I had lost you. Wait, poking up. You two are gonna love
And then you'll
this
see the
big
dialogue
surprise.
triggered.
In fact, you might.
And then when he says death, that's when you go in.
Death. You're going to love it to death. You'll love it until it kills you till you're dead. All right. I don't know whether you're picking up on what I'm saying there, but
Thanks, we get it.
Alright, so now there's only one more map in Chapter 8, and it's on the easier side, so don't worry. Because you don't have to fly, you can bunny hop here,
Or maybe he still is, in which case,
and then just hit this trigger as soon as possible.
sorry, my fault. Bunch of fingers.
And then that side gets splashed first, and then go there, and go through. Right here, you're going to want to shoot this portal in the middle right of this panel, because that'll shoot it there. If you shoot it in the corner, it doesn't work. There's a placement helper, but you have to ignore it by shooting in the very right middle of that panel. And then crouch. Crouch, look down and shoot the blue portal. Then once you go through, wait like a second, uncrouch, shoot the orange portal in the lower left corner of there. Make sure it's in if it's in the upper left corner, it will not work, and you'll probably soft lock in some way. So shoot it on the lower left corner, and then shoot this blue portal in the middle, and then go immediately right. Just hold D. And you'll be here, and then don't go too fast so you don't lose control. You'll be here, ready to go right under the door. If you go too fast, then oftentimes the turrets will shoot you, but that's not really a problem. It's just a bit slower. So like this, lower left, and then that's when the turrets shoot you. They can boost you that way, but thankfully the turrets actually boost you down instead of up, so it actually makes getting through this door easier. So.
line of test withdrawal. And
Just one more time with every dialogue.
trying to be subtle anymore. Or maybe he still is, in which case, well, that's kind of sad.
Sorry, my fault. Bunch of fingers.
I'm under you.
I get the impression he's about to
Only three
Shoot
more
on the right side of there.
chambers to get a big surprise.
Normally you have to zoom to get that shot, so. Then crouch, land here. Wait a bit, uncrouch so you get fly. Then lower left corner, blue. And then go to the end. And go in the middle of this door so you can actually make it under.
he's inexplicably happy.
And then if you're not going down at all, you can go down by pushing yourself against that door.
And he's got a surprise for us.
When she says for us on the 4, that's when you enter.
What did he find back there?
And that actually marks the end of Chapter 8. Chapter 9 we're going to be spending our entire time flying. So it's very important that in that map that I just talked about, you get fly. If you don't get fly, you will lose like 5 minutes in Chapter 9. I'm not joking. So make sure you get there in Chapter 8. Because in the Chapter 9 tutorial, I'm going to assume you have fly. But yeah, stay tuned for the Chapter 9 tutorial. And you're almost done with the game.